Just started. All right. Just want to make sure everyone can hear me because we got cut off at some point, so I wasn't sure if you were done with the introductions.
Oh, so sorry, apologies for the interruption. Just due to the internet.
Okay.
So I'll take from recognized for innovative use of social media. Malate-Ann has significantly expanded education USinNigeria's visibility and reach. Her work has enhanced the ministry's ability to connect with younger demographics and foster meaningful dialogue online. She holds a degree in economics from Bryn Mawr College, Pennsylvania, and a master's in social School of Economics. Outside of work, Malate-Ann is a lover of art and is where testing out recipes. She comes to the others.
Just joking. Okay. All right.
Time to make. Hopefully, you find time. With applause, please welcome with me our facilitator for today, Malate-Ann Atajiri. Good afternoon, ma'am. You have the floor now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm super excited to be here to share my knowledge and my expertise. Like was said in my bio, I work for the US mission on the strategic communications team. I've been at the US mission for about 9+ years now, close to 10, but I've been in the field of communication, social media for longer than that. So I'm going to be sharing my knowledge and my expertise on building a personal brand and maintaining and building an online identity. So again, part of what I do is making sure that maintaining the US Missions brand and also Education USA as a brand, building that brand and also making sure that we get to the audience and have the reach that we do. So I see myself as an educator, or I think of myself as an educator, maybe because I have a background of working a lot with students. So I talk with my hands, I ask questions. I'm hoping that today's session is going to be interactive and as engaging as possible. I really don't like the sound of my voice, me talking all the time. So I really want to hear it from you, participate, and also share your own expertise as well. I believe that we are constantly learning and we have a lot to learn from one another. Every day is an opportunity to learn. You might have something that I would learn from, definitely. And I'm hoping that I will give you 1 or 2 insights, 1 or 2 tips and tricks that will help you think about how to build yourself as a brand and also think about how you can leverage on that brand for different opportunities that they might present themselves. All right, so if you're looking to be, okay, let's make sure my clicker is working. Doesn't seem to be working. All right, so what is one word that comes to mind when you see any of these figures? So we can participate here. For those of you who are joining us, maybe you can put it in the chat, or maybe you can have those conversations about yourselves, within yourselves. So the truth of the matter is that all of us are working brands. We might not be celebrities or influencers, but we all carry a certain brand. When people meet you, there are certain words, there are certain conceptions that people associate with you. So I want us to start thinking about this exercise of like, okay, these are some famous people that we might know. So what word or words or things, stories, or anything comes to mind when you see these faces and hear these things? So when I say Elon Musk, what word comes to mind?
Tesla.
Tesla, okay. What other word comes to mind?
Space.
Space?
Space Air.
Space Air. Okay, beyond his companies, let's think about personal attributes, or characteristics, qualities, values. What word comes to mind when you think of Elon Musk? Genius, right? Some people will say go-getter, innovator. Those are some of the words that a lot of people associate with them. How about Chimamanda Adichie, someone that is a little bit closer to home? What are some of the words or things that people associate with someone like her? Writer. Books. poets, feminists, women's advocates, right? Those are some of, so that's what I mean by when you see certain people, certain words, certain emotions, they all carry the personal brand. So I wanted to start this exercise, even though we're talking about famous people, but also for us to start thinking about ourselves as we go through today's presentation and think about what do you represent? When people see you, when people meet you, when you leave the room, what impression do people leave? What stories, what characteristics, what qualities, what words do people associate with you as a person, or what is your personal brand? There's a very popular quote about personal branding, and it's from Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, which basically says that forget about all the things that I'm going to be giving you today as technical definitions of personal branding and all that. But I think he says it best when he says, personal brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. When you are not there, what do people have to say about you? As we all came in today, we all looked at each other, sized each other up, and maybe made certain conclusions or drew certain judgments, maybe by virtue of how we appeared, the kind of dressing we had, how we presented ourselves, how we greeted ourselves. So we always leave an impression with people. So when you're not in the room, what do people have to say about you? How do people define you? What impression or lasting impact do you leave on individuals? For me, that is the essence, or in a nutshell, what a personal brand is. Okay. Our clicker is, okay, good. So the truth of the matter is that the world that we live in now has gone beyond just face-to-face interactions, and everything that we do right now is online. Most of our existence has now transitioned into online. So I have a question for you. That's why we have our laptops here today. We have our phones for everyone joining us. If I Googled your name right now, what do you think I will find? So yeah, honestly, if I Googled your name right now, what would I find? Will I find your Instagram, your LinkedIn? Would I find articles that mention you? Am I going to find articles or things that you have published? Am I going to find things about your business, things about your website? Or am I going to see nothing? That's a question I want you to have. Because the truth of the matter is that, like I said, our world right now revolves on what you can find online about a person. Whether it's job opportunities, you're looking for a business, you're looking for partners, you want to date someone, you want to go and do your research first. And the first thing we do once we see someone or hear about someone is we run to Google and see what we can find about that person. So the same question is what you should ask yourself. If I'm looking for business opportunities, I want things to locate me. I want businesses, customers to find me. I want opportunities to come my way, people to locate my business. The first thing that I do is I go and search online. So the first thing those people will do, whether it's recruiters, employers, potential partners, businesses, is that they will also do the same thing and go to Google and search for your name. So what is on there that will help you attract what it is that you're looking for? So if I Googled your name right now, hopefully this question will be different after today's workshop. But as of right now, if we Googled your name, what do you think we are going to find? So it's really important for us to start thinking about how do we build that online brand? How do we build our personal brand online? And for me, personal branding goes beyond online. We all hear of those stories of like, oh, this person is one person online and a completely different person in real life, right? Personal branding is about you embodying those characteristics or those values. You are your walking brand. You are the same person online as you are offline. So when we think about bringing like an online personality or building a personal brand, it goes beyond just, Googling yourself and putting things on the internet, but also making sure that you embody those characteristics and embody those qualities. So even though today's session is going to be focusing on the online aspect, today's exercise is really going to make you think about your values, what you represent, your strengths, and how you can represent and embody those things both offline and online so that you can truly have a personal brand that people would not say is conflicting. Is one way online and another way offline. So why does it matter? And what is a personal brand? So definition-wise, a personal brand is recognized as a largely uniform perception or an impression of an individual based on their experiences, their expertise, their competence, their actions, achievements within a community, industry, or marketplace. So again, I said widely recognized. That's why I started off by saying, okay, celebrities, what are these one words that we associate with them? I gave us some hopefully positive examples and we came up with positive words. But at the same way, we can also mention some people, and the first thing that comes to mind for you would be negative words, because it's a largely formed conception. They might be amazing, wonderful people to their friends and family, most people are, but what is the general conception or the impression that people have about them? And the truth of the matter is, some people like negative controversy because for them, that's their personal brand. They want to be controversial. They want to be talked about. They want to be the opposition. They always want to be the person on the other side. When people are going left, they want to be saying something right. Whether they believe it or not, but their brand is that they want to be controversial. And for them, maybe that is what sells their business. That's what moves for them. One platform where being controversial is your friend is where? Exactly. If you want to get followers, if you want to become popular, just choose controversy as your brand on X and you will go fast. Right. Right. And the reason why we really need to talk about personal branding is because you have a brand whether you like it or not. That's true. As you are walking, people are forming impressions about you. Whether you like it or not, you have a brand. So you might as well make sure that you are able to build a brand that truly reflects who you are as an individual. And like I said, a personal brand is a mixture of so many things before you're able to come and say, okay, this is my personal brand. A lot of people don't just wake up one day and say that, okay, this is my brand, this is who I am, these are 2-3 words I want people to associate with me. But the truth is that for you to be able to craft what you would say is your personal brand is going to be an intersection of so many different things. And that's the reason why you might have so many people in what you can think is the same space. But the truth is that we are all unique and different in our own ways. And the intersection of all these different qualities will always bring out a unique product or a unique brand. Which is why there is no point you trying to copy and paste and mirror someone exactly, because then you're losing your essence. You're losing that juice, that flavor that makes you unique and makes you who you are. But when we're thinking about this concept of a personal brand, like I said, it's going to be an intersection of so many different things, right? What are some of your values? What do you represent? For us, we have different values and things that stand out to us: respect, integrity, trust, fun, enjoyment, shop life. We all have different values, right? What are some of your interests? Okay, I'm interested in education. I really want to go into fashion. I'm interested in politics. I'm interested in personal development. I'm interested in the arts, right? So many different interests. Now, what skills do you have? I'm a good writer. I'm a good teacher. I'm an educator. I'm good with my hands. I have a creative mind. What are some of your skills, right? Public speaking, article writing. There's so many skills out there, but what are some of those skills that you have, you possess, and then you want to showcase, and you think that it would be an add-on or give value to other people? Skills and talents obviously going hand in hand. Some of us have skills, some of us have natural talents. Even though I say I'm a lover of the arts, I know I cannot paint. I can appreciate and look from a distance. I know what looks good from my own eye, but I don't have the talent to actually do it myself. Now, I might be talented in other things. Like I said, I don't think I've seen a recipe that I don't know how to replicate. I feel like I'm good with recipes. If you give me a recipe and tell me to follow it, I can. I feel like that's a sort of talent that I have. What are your passions? Right? We are all passionate about different things. If we say that, okay, what is the biggest problem that we have in the world right now? Everybody will come up with a different thing. Some people will say it's education. That's what is the problem with Nigeria or the problem with the world. Some people will say that, oh no, forget about education. We're in an environmental crisis right now. If we don't fix the world, the climate, the environment, we're in trouble. Other people will say that no, it's inequality. Some people will say it's poverty. Some will say conflict, right? We need peace. So we all have different issues that we're passionate about. And again, it's when we start to think about all those different things that make us us and make us unique, and we try to blend all those things together, that is when we're able to sort of come up with what we'll say is a brand. Something that is unique and we can be identified by that particular thing or set of things, right? And the truth is, sometimes if we go back to that other slide, sometimes, we have more skills than interest. Sometimes so sometimes it's not like all these things are very equal in terms of the sizes of the circles and things like that. We might be more in one area or the other. And that's why I said the intersection of those things are always very unique and very individual to the person, regardless of whether we're 5 people here all interested in entrepreneurship. Different things will set us apart. It might be our skills, it might be our interest, it might be our niche demographic, but making a personal brand identity is a very personalized process. So life isn't about finding yourself, even though we've been told we need to find ourselves all the time. The truth of the matter is that life is about creating yourself. And that's why we're doing this workshop today. If you haven't thought about a personal brand, life isn't what happens to you, right? Don't let people associate certain words with you, certain ideas, ideology. We need to be more proactive in terms of thinking about creating the life that we want, creating the brand. What words do we want to now start people linking with us, and being more intentional about the brand that we represent online and also in our daily life. All right, so what are some of the 4 building blocks of a strong brand? Any strong brand that you think about, whether it's personal or maybe a more commercial brand that we're more used to, has certain 4 key things that really make them stand out. One is that there's clarity in that brand's message, right? People know what you stand for. There is consistency, not only in what you stand for, not that today you are left, tomorrow you are right, next tomorrow you are upside down. There is also some level of consistency. And not just consistency in what you stand for and what you represent, but also consistency also across different platforms and also in different spaces. So going back to what I said about you being one way online versus you being a different way in person, right? Some people are one way on LinkedIn, one way on Instagram, and then again, going back to X, being controversial on X. So are you consistent across the different social media platforms in terms of your brand identity, how you represent yourself? And then visibility. Are you showing your work? There's a particular quote that I really love, and I think about it all the time. And I think about it also because the truth of the matter is, because I spend most of my life online, analyzing audiences, creating content, doing a lot of things like behind the scenes, looking at brands, measuring things, does this work, da 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 da. When it comes to my personal life, I'm saturated and I switch off. So I know that I am also very guilty of this, showing my work, visibility. I don't want to be visible. And for me, that works for me because, again, it's all about what you want for yourself. I'm someone who, if you go and Google my name now, you won't see much. Highest maybe you'll see my LinkedIn that I haven't updated in a long time. But that's because I'm also a very private person. Those are some of my personal values, right? So what I'm saying here today, you might go back and say, you know what, I don't really want to make any changes. I really like being the private person that I am. I really don't want to be out there. But there's so many opportunities that are available online, right? Maybe if I was thinking about changing my career and I'm not happy where I am, maybe I'll think about going to update my LinkedIn and trying to be more visible because there's something that I'm looking for, right? But again, the quote that I wanted to mention was, I don't know if people have ever heard this, which is a philosophical question that I'm going to pose to all of us online and here. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it actually fall?
No.
That is the question I have. If a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it actually fall?
No.
But it didn't fall. Why? Because nobody heard it. That's why it's important for you to show your work. I'm good at this. I'm fantastic at this. I have this skill set. Okay. Where is it? Can we see it? So if you're not visible, if you're not putting yourself out there, if I Google you and you're telling me, oh, I'm a great writer, I'm this, I'm that, and I Google you and I don't see anything, are you really that what you say you are? And again, you always want to make sure that you are providing value. You're not just posting things for posting's sake or being online or having an online brand or an online identity for just the sake of it. But when people come to you, they are getting some form of value from you. So what is your value proposition? Focus on what you can give, not just what you can get. Like I said, we all have something that is unique about us, something that is different, a skill, something that we can teach or share with someone else. And that is what I want us to focus on in terms of what value do we bring when thinking about building building that personal brand that we are after. Now, there are different platforms out there that can help shape our identity, and all the different platforms have their own individual and unique characteristics. Now, I won't really go into the algorithm or what these different platforms are looking for and how to go viral on the different social media platforms. That is a completely different conversation. The truth is that if we're able to build our brand and we provide value and we are present in these spaces, our audience will find us, right? So it's not about just becoming viral, but let's first of all think about how we use these platforms to shape our identity. So obviously, the ultimate audit is Google, right? All these things, Instagram, X, YouTube, personal websites, all these things, the first thing is Google. So that is really the ultimate audit. So really, what shows up when you search your name, right? So are they good things? Are they positive things? How can you influence those things so that the things that you want to pop up and to be top on the list will actually show? We won't go into SEO, search engine optimization. That's a completely different specialty, not for today's class, hopefully maybe in the future. But again, like I said, if you've never Googled yourself, I hope that you will. In fact, that's actually one of the things that we're all going to do in today's exercises. I will go around and see what shows up when you Google yourself. All right. So while I am a big fan of social media platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, X, Reddit, Quora. There are an infinite number of social media platforms. I feel like nothing beats a personal website. We might not all have the technical know-how to code and build our own websites, but there's so many different resources out there that allow us to actually generate websites, personal websites by ourselves or by ourselves. They have templates that you can go put in information, create what you want, upload portfolios, samples of your work. So I feel like for anyone who is really thinking about taking their personal branding seriously, well, like I feel like entry level is social media. If you want to take it to the next level, honestly, it's about having a personal website. You have control over that. Not that you wake up one day and Instagram has crashed, it's not working. They'll change their algorithms about the things that are going viral and not going viral. You're not reaching your people. But if we're thinking about like something that you have control over, you get to edit, you get to add, you get to have control and manage, is going to be a personal website, right? So it's your own owned digital hub. And it's really great for people who are like creatives, freelancers, consultants, even individuals who maybe want to be known for certain things, public speaking, add links to your YouTube videos. Like you really get to be as creative as possible. And like I said, even without having coding knowledge, there's so many abundant resources out there that give you templates where you can get to have your own website and personalize it yourself. For anyone who is looking for jobs, you need to make sure that you have an optimized LinkedIn page. LinkedIn is free to create. Optimize it means that you have gone through your LinkedIn page. You make sure things like you have a professional picture on there. You make sure that you have a really captivating bio. You make sure that the information on there is accurate. Basically, that's the first place people go to for any job. Nowadays, LinkedIn has made it in such a way that you can even apply for jobs directly from LinkedIn. No need to go to a separate page to fill out an application, write a cover letter, send in your resume. Right there, they advertise the job and you say apply it by LinkedIn. And that's it. You submit your LinkedIn profile and that profile goes in and they make a decision based on just what you have on your LinkedIn profile. So again, going back to your LinkedIn profile, how optimized is it? Do you want to be known as an industry leader or an expert on there? A lot of people are not really maximizing the true benefit or the true possibilities that LinkedIn has, right? So have you been mentioned in any articles? Have you posted that as a comment or an update? Do you occasionally post and share and create content on your LinkedIn profile? Or your LinkedIn profile is just a static page that shows your CV, education, job experience, something to current, present, and then that's it. Are you posting updates, links to projects that you have done? Think of LinkedIn as a professional, the way you post on Instagram and keep people updated on your life on Instagram and Facebook with pictures and things like that. LinkedIn can also be used in the same way, but in a more professional sense. Things that you think would advance your objectives career-wise. So please don't let your LinkedIn be static. Make sure that you're updating or adding things that would advance you, workshops that you have done, certificates that you have received. You know, have you gone on Coursera and gotten a certification? Are you posting those things as updates or adding them to your LinkedIn page? So think about your LinkedIn as, again, a professional networking and a job search platform. Instagram is really great for visual storytelling. Anything that requires people to see with their eyes and to resonate with your products. So are you someone who is an entrepreneur, who is into fashion, who is into cake design, who is into... For me, I live and breathe on Instagram. That's why part of my bio says that my fun pastime is screenshotting. I don't know if his audio kind of went off when he was reading my bio. But one of my favorite pastimes is going through Instagram and seeing fashion outfits that I know I would never make. I probably have 20,000 screenshots of pictures of outfits and designs that in one day, if I make all those outfits, I don't think I'll ever wear all of them. But I still enjoy it as so for me, that's how you sell your brand. People are very visual people, right? If you're in a business that requires people to see, like if someone tells me, oh, I make really good cakes and all that, fine, the cake can taste good. I'm fine. If it's a cake for like maybe my personal, just little eating here and there, fine. I can go based on recommendation. But if I'm looking for a cake for like a birthday party, the 1 year, I'm interested in your creativity. I want to make sure that the vision of the cake I have in mind, you'll be able to bring it to life. It's not just about the taste anymore. The visual matters. So I want to go to your Instagram page. I want to see what cakes have you done? Have you done anything similar to what I am interested in? So Instagram is really great if you're in the business of things that are very visual. And then again, X is really great for you to just share your thoughts. If you want to be known as an expert, there are some people that we know that they're experts on this particular issue because they've made themselves the dons on Twitter when it comes to this particular thing. When anything is going viral, any trend or any topic, you go to their page to see what they've said about it. What have they even talked about it? What is their opinion on that particular thing? So really, X is really good for you to sort of like carve out your niche as a thought leader, also LinkedIn as well. But the risk with X is that sometimes with these other things, we take a lot of time in terms of crafting. We think about the picture we want, we think about the caption, there's some sort of intentionality. We take at least a few seconds before we click on that post. With X, there's the risk of you don't really sit down to really think about the thought process as it comes just. So sometimes you really need to be careful about about X, because there's also risks for to your reputation if you don't really manage it very well. And that's why I talked about some people can seem one way and then a different way. So remember that a personal brand means that you want to be consistent across all platforms. Let's take Elon Musk, for example. He's known as someone who goes against the norm. He's controversial, he's different, and that reflects in his personality, whether it's online or offline, right? He embodies and he takes his visionary, going against the norm, going against the grain brand. And that is something that he takes consistently across his different social media platforms. So again, going back to what we said about the 4 pillars, clarity, we mentioned consistency, we mentioned visibility. We need to see you. We need to see what you can do. We need to see what you can offer. And again, making sure that whatever you're putting out there, not every single post, not every single thing, but generally speaking, when we audit your social media identity or your online identity, we see that you are providing some form of value to the community and not just populating the Google search engine or Instagram space. So as we think about creating a personal brand, we also need to think about managing that brand, right? It's the same way, when you buy a car, you don't just, you warm it, you wash it, you maintain it, you make sure that if there's anything that is contrary to your opinion or contrary to you, you remove it, that sort of thing. The same way on Instagram, let's say for Instagram, for example, for me, even though my page is private, I've set a thing, I've gone to the settings and I've put it in such a way that nobody can tag me in a picture without me giving them permission to. So you won't see random, weird, funny things, because on Instagram, if you go to Instagram, there's your profile, you have reels, and then at the very end, you see tagged, that column of tagged. So you can go to tagged and see anybody in the world can tag you on a post, right? So for me, I'm very intentional about curating my brand. I don't want just anybody to just tagging me on things that are not related to what I'm interested in any way. So for me, I've enabled that feature where You can tag me, but it will never show up on my page except I go and click and approve that request for that thing to show up on my page. And you'll see a lot of influencers and celebrities are actually doing that as well, because you're basically, people come to their page because they're a working brand, they provide value, and they don't want to be giving free advertisement to someone that has not paid them. Right? So you see a lot of celebrities, if you after this exercise, maybe you might notice it more, maybe you've not noticed it before, that you see a lot of people go and check their tagged posts. And for me, even when I'm searching for people, that's another way for me, I find other vendors or other people on Instagram. I'm like, okay, this person is interested in this particular thing, or this person seems to be good at this. I wonder who has tagged them or what other people they're associated with or linked with. So who is your personal brand being associated with? Who are you being linked with? Are you someone who wants to leave that open so that you can find businesses, you can find customers, you can find people from everywhere? That's perfectly fine. Or are you someone who wants to be, I don't know what your brand is, but do you want to be more intentional about the people that are associated with your online profile or your online brand? Again, these are all individual decisions that you get to make. There is no wrong or right answer. It's all about what you're looking to get out of it. So branding is an ongoing process that is constantly evolving, which is why I said that, you're constantly tweaking and changing and evolving and changing something before you find the perfect formula. I do a lot of cooking analogies, by the way. So you're always testing out different recipes, changing out different things, trying to figure out exactly what combination of things work. It can be something as simple as, am I posting once a month, right? I want to take more time to be more intentional in terms of maybe coming up with a longer article. Or am I someone who wants to be changing my frequency of posting? Let me test out doing once a week posts. Okay, let me test out doing two times a week. Or let me even test out this. The thing about social media is that experimentation is really good, especially if you're in this beginning stage where you're still trying to figure things out. It's different if you have your identity already and then it's like autopilot. Boom, 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 consistency, that sort of thing. But in these early stages, experimentation is actually really good. And again, like I said, you also need to keep up with the latest things that are happening, right? Algorithms change, features get introduced, different topics come up in your field. So you also want to keep up with those things. The same way, completely random now, but if the same way that if you're someone who is you're in a hair care, wigs, salon business right now, if you have not posted a picture of your skill level in doing a pixie cut, right? Giving the hairstyle that what's her name, Trauma wore, pixie haircuts have now gone viral in Nigeria. So every Instagram vendor, every hair salon is showing that style, that level of expertise that they have in that particular niche product. Because again, they're keeping up with critical trends, what's trending right now. So you always want to make sure that you are checking to see what is the ongoing conversation in your field. And again, you honestly would revise your brand as you grow and you gain more experience. And that's why you see sometimes that going back to reputation or risk management, what's the platform that always gets people in trouble? X. Yeah. They said something 10 years ago and someone will go back and dig it up and bring it back for them in the present day and say, see, look at what you said 10 years ago on X and look at what you're saying now. But so the truth is, like I said, we evolve and we grow as people, and so does our brand and our identity. I'm not saying don't be on X. That's not the lesson, the take-home lesson for today. But again, just be careful about how we represent ourselves. And for me, it's just about being intentional. There are people that use X really, really well. But again, just be intentional with it because of that risk of you think about it, you write, you post, you forget about it, you don't think to come back, right? So with the other platforms is a bit better. It's easier for you to kind of keep track of your growth and your trajectory in life. But with X, there's that risk of post and forget. So as we sort of as I'm sort of concluding my presentation and we're going more into something that is a bit more hands-on, I want us to start thinking about, like I said, we all represent brands. What is your current brand, right? What makes you special? And how does your uniqueness translate into value? And then very importantly, what do you want to be known for? Those are questions I want us to think about, hopefully start writing answers to. I know I'm asking you all these existential questions, and I'm expecting you to have answers just like that. But for you to be able to come up with answers to these questions, how many of us have heard of SWOT analysis? Do we know what a SWOT analysis is?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For me, I really don't want us to focus on threats right now. I want us to think about what are our strengths. So that goes back to what makes you special. You know, what unique thing can you bring? Again, going back to what I said about skills, your talents, what are those things that makes you special? Then what are some of your weaknesses? What are some of those things that you need to work on? I will really be good at this if only I had better time management skills. Oh, I have all these different ideas. I need to be able to just do this, right? What are some of those things that are holding you back from achieving your fullest potential? Those are some of those weaknesses that you have. And weaknesses are almost directly connected to opportunities. Opportunities is like, okay, if I work on this, like you are your own biggest enemy a lot of the times, right? So what are the opportunities that are available for you out there in terms of not only building your brand, but also leveraging on your brand to achieve the desired outcome or the goal that you want to? A lot of people will think of threats as maybe other people in your space. A lot of people focus on competitors, competition. This other person is doing this. I'm going to be competing with that other person. But the truth is that there's enough space for all of us to coexist and to thrive. The same way that we're all here right now, taking up our own individual seats and our own individual space. No one is sitting on top of another person. This space can accommodate all of us. That's also the way the internet is. Also, that's how opportunities of the world exists. There is no need for seeing someone as your competitor in a negative way. We all have our own unique value proposition. And I really don't like to think of, you know, another person is talking about personal branding and social media or whatever. I'm like, sure, they have their own insights. I bring my own expertise as well. It's not a competition, but let's think of how we can even collaborate together. All right, so now the reason why we brought our laptops or we have our phones is for us to actually do an exercise. So my presentation is kind of over, to be honest with you. Now it's our interactive portion. I'll be walking us through some exercises that I hope that at the end of, we'll be able to leave here today with something that we can be a jumping point for us to really start crafting that personal brand. My goal, honestly, is that by the time you come here next week for the next series or the next session that we're going to be doing, when I Google you, something different. There will be something different about what is going to show up. Whether how you post on your social media platforms that you are on, whether it's the fact that you're going to get onto a social media platform that you're not on already, whether it's you would have untagged yourself and removed yourself from certain public results that are online about you, or it's simply the fact that when I Google you, your name will actually show up. Something actually shows up. So that's kind of my overall goal, that hopefully by this time next week, something is going to be different by virtue of you going through this particular exercise. So I want us to take a few minutes or a few seconds to think about what are some words that we want to be associated with us. So just think about that. It could be anything. What are some words that we want to be associated with us? Do you have any English teachers or experts in the house that have the full dictionary at their disposal and can give us all the synonyms in the world? But there's so many different words. You want to be known as someone who is creative. You want to be known as someone people can trust. Do you want to be known as a leader? Do you want to be known as someone who is compassionate? Someone who is empathetic? Do you want to be someone who is relatable? Indeed. You want to be timid. Team God as a leader. So you want to be someone who is seen as someone that can take up leadership positions, right? So what are some of those words? Oh, we need someone, we're having an exercise in our office today where we're like, we need someone to look at something creative. We need to form a panel of people that will judge an art thing. And we looked at the panel and we're all like, how is this person not on the panel? This is the creative, right? This is the creative mind at the embassy. He has to be on the panel because creativity, artistic, whatever, that is the word we associate with him. So he has to be on this panel. You cannot judge anything artsy in the embassy without this person being there, right? So what are some of those words that you want people to associate with you? No one is writing.
Honorable.
Honorable. So you want to be seen as someone that maybe has integrity. Integrity is your word. So what are some of those words? Image. You want to image builder. Okay, so don't forget those terms. So image builder. I've been waiting to see the chats to see if anyone is sharing anything in the chats, but I'm not seeing the chats are empty right now. Yeah. So please, my audience online, maybe anyone wants to volunteer and share. What is one word or 3 words that you want to be associated with you? Okay, so we have successful, fantastic. What other word can we think about? Can we think of 1 or 2 words that would be associated with us? Resourceful, okay? All right. Honesty, okay? Focus, okay? American Space Bauchi, thank you. Keep those contributions coming. I need the other windows to also share some of those words. Excellent.
We have. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
We have some other people on the social media, especially on our YouTube.
Okay, so if someone
we have Yewande Awonuga says considerate, empathetic. Who else? Then Akinolu Ayotolu, competitive. Ruth Olunoti, hardworking, integrity, and resourceful.
I'm loving all those words. Those are really, really great words. And I also want to think about how you can embody those words, not just online, but also in person, in terms of how you relate with people. And let me give you a really good example or a subtle thing. One of the words I hope people use to describe me, especially because I work with young people, is that I aim to be relatable. That's one word I try to do. And that was why I was kind of intentional about my dressing today, because I could have stood on here with a suit and a blazer and I'm forming like I'm an authority on this, right? That's an impression. But I chose to be a bit more dressed down, a bit more relatable, like dress so that you can see me like you can see me hopefully in what I'm wearing. You can see yourself in my shoes, relate with me, that sort of thing. So it's not everything that obviously like I want to be intentional, so I will wear this. But going back to when I say like a personal brand, is not just how you present yourself online, but it can also be how you also present yourself offline as well. So for me, I know one word, especially with the work that I do and working with students and being a teacher, is that I always aim to be relatable. And I always think about that in terms of my appearance, how I present.
We can't see your face again.
And how I relate to my audiences both in person and in terms of my online persona as well. All right, so now that we have hopefully come up with 2 to 3 words that we hope can describe us, this is now going into like a little advanced level of personal branding. Now, this is not branding 101, but there is a psychology of color when it comes to the different emotions or feelings that certain colors can evoke. That's why you see that certain brands tend to have similar colors. Most things that have to do with health and wellness tend to be green, to evoke like agriculture, green, nature, that sort of thing. So when we go back to those 3 words that I said you should use to help describe yourself, the next question I have for you is, can you identify 2 or 3 colors? Doesn't have to be colors you like wearing, I don't know. But what are 2 or 3 colors that you want to be associated with you and associated with your brand? Now, if we think about the psychology or emotions, the psychology of color, certain colors evoke certain words or certain emotions from us. Do you want to be known as friendly? Do you want to be someone who is creative? If you notice, one of the, for us as a mission, blue is a big color in the US, right? Blue is a big color, blue, red, and white, right? Blue symbolizes trust, right? We want to be a brand that you trust. This is someone that you know as a go-to official or a go-to source. So there's a lot of psychology behind color. This is a little advanced for us, but I really want us to start thinking about this because there are some people that take this emotion, color, psychology of color to a whole new level. And I hope that's what's going to change your social media game in terms of if you're thinking about the colors that you use in your templates or in the things that you post, the colors that you choose in your logos, what color would you use for your website? If you're thinking of a branding material, like what color do you want people to associate you with? One of my friends who owns even though she's an expert in the field, but she owns a branding company, Pandora. Her colors are, her brand colors are orange, black, and white. And she's very intentional that whenever she's going to a public speaking engagement, she always wears an orange dress because she wants people to associate her with that being friendly, orange, and also resonating with the logos and colors of her brand. That's how intentional she is. So when I want to think of what to buy her as a birthday present, I honestly don't have to think too much. Can I find an orange dress that she doesn't already have? Because I know that when there's a speaking engagement, when she's going for meetings and things like that, she wants to be seen as friendly, approachable. So I know that for her, buying her an orange dress is a no-brainer for her birthday. So that's what I mean by what kind of colors do you want to be associated with you or with your brand? And different colors evoke certain things, right? So do we want to be seen as, someone who people can trust, someone who is neutral, someone who is peaceful, right? One of my slides is missing. No. Oh sorry, this is the one I was looking for. So can you select your brand color? Red is the color of power. I want to be a leader, I want to be an authority, red. Right? Orange, like I said, energy, friendly, yellow, you want to be seen as happy, intellectual, an optimist. Green, a lot of health things always are green, fresh, nature. Do you want to be seen as someone who is wise, right? Purple. Are you someone who is sophisticated? You want to denote authority, black, right? When you see all the CEOs, Steve Jobs and all that with the signature black turtleneck that he used to wear, that's why they say black is the color of power. If you go to a boardroom, everybody is a sea of black suits. Everyone is wearing black suits, right? Because they know that color there's a certain psychology that comes with even the color that you see someone wears, or even when you go to someone's Instagram profile and you see the kind of colors that they use on their post, there's something that there's an emotion that gets that evokes in people. So what emotion do you want people to get when they come across your profile or when they come across you in person? I'm not saying that you should go to the level of only wearing a signature color. That is a little a little much. But this is something for you to definitely think about. And again, think about those 3 words that you want to be associated with you. And where do they fall on the color spectrum? Right? Are they, so if you're someone who now, like I said, wants to design a logo for your brand or your business, if you're someone who wants to design a website and you're thinking about what colors should I use for my website, what color of font should I use, that sort of thing, this is one way you can actually start thinking about, being intentional about those little details. You can go on the website and just choose a template and just choose anything. But are you intentional that the colors that you're choosing on your website or you use on your posts or you use on your branded materials, is it reflecting those qualities, those characteristics, or those words that you want to be associated with you and your brand? This is why I'm moving, because the clicker is not. All right, yeah. All right. So now we've talked about the words. Hopefully, I'm going around to see what words we have. Impactful, storyteller, confident, young leader, wise, innovative, fantastic. So now let's think about crafting a personal brand statement. This is a very short version of your 5-minute elevator pitch where you get to tell people about who you are, what you offer, that sort of thing. But now this is like your vision statement, right? So this is where you get to, what is your brand statement? I am a dash who helps dash by dash. I am an educator who helps young students by offering information about scholarship opportunities. That is a brand statement. I am a parent who helps other parents by providing my expertise on parental issues or parental topics. I am a doctor who helps parents make better decisions about their children's welfare. It could be anything. But what is your personal brand statement? I am an entrepreneur, or even better, I am a fashion designer who helps. Who's a fashion designer here? Okay, good. So have you thought about this will help me know your niche. If I hear your brand statement, I know your niche. So what is your brand statement?
I am a fashion designer. Helps to create beautiful pieces from little girls, make them unique.
Amazing and confident. Fantastic. So for those online, please make sure you share your brand statement. Someone here just shared her personal brand statement as a fashion designer. I am a fashion designer who helps to create beautiful pieces and fashionable outfits. I don't know if they're affordable or not. You did not tell me. By creating one of a kind pieces for young girls. So from that brand statement, I know kind of like, okay, I know that she's focusing on, I won't go to her for myself. I'll go to her for my daughter. Like little girl, I'm thinking about baptism outfit. I'm thinking about 1 year, 5-year ball gown. Maybe I'm not sure we might go to prom, or maybe prom might be where we'll cut it off. So I'm already thinking about her niche demographic. Now, there are some people, and that's why I said maybe you can be as specific as that. That's why I said some people will add the word affordable, right? I want to be affordable. Everybody can be able to afford my products. For some other people, they'll be like high-end, luxury. What's that viral designer, Vivi K? Vivi J. Maybe don't have 5-10 million for wedding gowns. Just be scrolling past their page. Just step aside, right? So again, we're all in the fashion game, but everybody has their own thing. Maybe your clientele is different. Some people is like, I saw this BBC Africa documentary that was talking about how Nigerian designers are now taking over the prom industry in the US. A lot of people, and that's a niche that a lot of people might not have realized. We're so focused on Nigeria and outfits and wedding gowns and Owambe and all that, but prom in the US is a big thing, right? So even though we're all in the fashion space, there's a niche for everybody. If you think about someone that also has a really great personal brand, the founder of what's her name, Nike Ogunlesi, Rough and Tumble, right? She went into the children's fashion game when everybody else was focusing on other people. And for her, that was where she went and found her own personal brand and her own niche. So again, hopefully I will go around people online. I don't know if anyone wants to share what their personal brand statement is. I am a dash who helps dash by doing dash or by dash. So let's see if we have anyone. Okay. Oh, we have more fashion people in the house. Please, the men should not feel left out. I am a... Exactly. So please, I need more people to share their own personal brand statement. So someone is saying, I am a crochettier who helps people by showing up in beautiful crafted designs. Okay. We have a hand raised in Oshogo, the window in Oshogo. Okay, the window in Oshogo has their hand raised. But I don't know if other people can, at least if you cannot share it in the chat, you should definitely write it on your system or write it on your paper.
I said, I am a teacher who help other students by explaining more about learning to them.
Okay, I am a teacher who shares more, who helps students by sharing more about learning to them. Okay. All right. Anyone else have their own brand statement that they want to share with us?
We have another hand up in Uyo.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm a graphic designer who help businesses and brands gain visibility through compelling designs.
Wow.
Oh, nice. That's such a great one. Like you've done this exercise before. All right. Anyone else want to share their brand statement?
If you have another question from you.
Okay, please go ahead with your brand statement.
Good afternoon. I am a dynamic business development, marketing and sales personnel who helps business to grow and expand. Thank you.
No. You've not finished. What is your unique value proposition? How do you, what do you offer? By what? What do you do? So you're a unique business development who helps businesses to do this by doing what? What's your value? What do you do?
Okay, thank you. So I will have to put that again. Idore Inupe is my name, and I would describe myself as a brand, a business development, marketing and sales person with years of experience who help businesses expand and grow. I help businesses in the FMCG and industries to grow and become better. I offer travel services in within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. I
You're giving us your entire CV. It's supposed to be a sentence. A sentence. I think you really need to work on that buy, because that buy really shows like what is your unique selling point, right? So how do you offer those services? Is it by analyzing their what they are, like I don't know, like what strategy do you use to help those businesses grow? Some people can say, yes, I am a business development person, but my angle of seeing how I can help your business grow is from market research to see how you can get enter new audiences. Some people can say that, oh, I help your business grow by seeing how I can help you with your finances, right? Some people can say I can help your business grow by seeing how you can leverage on maybe markets or industries that maybe you had not entered into or ventured into. So for me, I really want to know what that your buy is. Because when you say, oh, I'm a business development person who helps businesses, that's still very generic. You've still not been able to narrow it down to at least some level of specificity. So I can give you an example of the previous person who says, I am a teacher who helps students by providing, that sort of thing. I can also have a teacher, like I said, I can also say I am a teacher who helps other teachers by providing teaching best practices or professional development opportunities. There's someone I follow online that is like that is very big on providing. Tolu, I'm not sure. So I think it's Eric. Is it Eric Waga or is it Kaga Tech? I'm trying to know. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the person, but yeah. So there are people like that. That I might be a teacher, but I want to help other teachers get more equipped. Some people can say that, you know what, I'm a teacher, but I want to help parents. Yes. Like nowadays, people have left teaching to just be teachers. It needs to be a collaboration. So how can we work with parents, right? To see how we can, how we can help children be successful and all of that. Or you can even say someone like doctors. There are doctors that work with other doctors. There are also doctors that work with patients. But let me give you a good example. Like you can have a doctor who goes on online and does all those online. So a proper doctor is one, but there's also another one that I follow that I think is very interesting. I don't know if anyone knows of is it Nosy or Noisy Pediatrician? He does like all these funny skits online. He's like a comedian more or less, but he's actually a doctor. But he's passing information because of his audience, right? So for him, even though he will say, I am a medical doctor who provides information to parents and about their child's welfare and whatnot, by using funny and relatable, engaging content that will resonate with that same audience. So for him, his own buy is different. Someone can say, I am a doctor who provides information to parents to make better, well-informed decisions about their healthcare by being an authority in the field. So that kind of person that wants to be seen in terms of their words as authority, maybe for them, they'll put stethoscope on their neck and wear white lab coats and go on Instagram Live and be showing that I am an authority. But someone who wants to be more relatable and friendly in their content will wear Mickey Mouse hats, will be more friendly, will be doing skits for us, will be doing that sort of thing. So that's why I said, you still haven't told me that buy. How do you plan to do it? And that buy can be different. It doesn't necessarily mean the kind of content you're putting out. It could also mean like your unique skill sets, your unique talents, your experience, that sort of thing. But the buy is really kind of what sets you apart. So we can all be business owners who want to help other businesses grow. But that buy is what makes you you. Because only you can do that buy. So when you're thinking about crafting your brand statement, that's one of the difficult pieces to do, because we are all business people or we have our own niche. But what is that unique way you do what you do. So, as you think about that, we have some hands raised. I don't know if anyone has something to share.
We have 4 hands up from Abeokuta, Ibadan, Ikeja, and Zaria. So we take it in that particular order. Abeokuta first, and unmute and say something.
Yeah, my name is Ogidon Kende. I am popularly known as Ken Axe. I am an aspiring cybersecurity professional and an ethical hacker. I help people monitor networks and also find vulnerabilities in websites and offer bug bounty programs. Yes, thank you.
By providing my expertise in the field of XYZ. See, I've helped you to complete it. All right, next.
All right, go to Ibadan.
Sorry, you said Ibadan?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Atonda Oluwatimileyin. I am a cloud engineer. I help startup provision safe, scalable, and cost-optimized cloud solution by following industry standards of security and by helping them select cloud architectural options that's going to save them a lot of cost, thereby cutting their
All right, that's
budget as they run the cloud.
It's a long.
All right. No, that's actually, I would want you to like shorten it a little, but that's really great. You actually have hit all the different points that I wanted us to hit today. All right, so we have one more person who wants to share just so that we can go through the other steps of the exercise. So we have, I think, 2 more people who have.
Ikeja. Yes, we have Zaria. Ikeja, speak, then we have Zaria.
Hello,
everybody. My name is Patsy.
Okay.
My name is Patsy Jaisimi. I'm a chef who helps people to eat nutritional food by encouraging them to know the importance of eating healthy homemade food, making them to understand that it is important to eat meals that are homegrown instead of eating junk food.
Okay. All right, and I think we have one more hand raised, maybe Zaria, and then we'll take some comments online. So, Zaria.
Yeah, please go ahead.
We need to unmute that.
It's okay. I'm a student linguist who helps people understand effective use of language by providing ways one can communicate with people in a social, formal, or professional setting.
Awesome, fantastic. So thank you everyone for sharing. And again, please just keep up. We have one more person in Zaria. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Godwin Nikre. I'm an MSP, that's a mechanized service provider. I help farmers with my expertise by providing information on modern farm tools used to improve yield and productivity. Thank you.
Awesome, fantastic. We have a farmer who is helping farmers. Oh, wow, that's honestly, this has been all your contributions have honestly been really fantastic. I really love that last one. Again, it's a niche that we don't really talk about a lot, agriculture and providing information to farmers to increase crop yield by giving them information on all of those things. So that's really fantastic. All right, so let's move on to the next step of our exercise, which is, again, bring out your phones, bring out your laptops. For those of you who don't have phones or laptops, then we can do a conceptual exercise. So let's first of all figure out what already exists out there. So again, before you go, for those of you that don't have access to the internet, I actually want us to really think, what are 3 things that you think would show up about you if I was to search for your name or Google you right now? So whether you have an internet or not, you should hopefully have a notepad paper to write. What are 3 things that you think will show up? And what are 2 things that you want to show up? For those of us that do have access to the internet, I want us to search our names right now on Google or Bing. Sometimes you might have different results depending on the search engine. And I want you to search for your name. And if anyone is brave enough to share something that shows up when they search for their name. All right, so before we can actually, let's see what is even out there to begin with, before we can think about how to change or improve upon what is out there. All right, we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook. Okay, so I see someone is a researcher, you have a research account. You have a competition. Yeah, that's one. Okay, but we have an account. So mostly LinkedIn, I have the first picture that comes up does not look like you. So that means that your profile with picture. Exactly, your LinkedIn or the X or picture, doesn't match your picture. All right, so it's mostly social media. Oh, you're also an influencer. But it's a different angle. Okay, so it's interesting. There's also a streamer that has the same profile as you. YouTube, so you have a use profile. So if you have a situation where you have a profile picture the same name as you, how do you want to start presenting yourself so that when people search you, other people are not coming up, or you will come up? So instead of just using your first and your last name, do you want to now go to your profile and include your middle name? So when and I ask you to Google your first name, you put, I can't pronounce that right. Idorian, Essien. Now add Daniel. So when you put that on your complimentary card, when you put that on your LinkedIn profile, when you put that out there, when people search, it is your profile that comes up, not the swimmer, not the actor, not the weird, not those other random people, but again, it is going to be you that will come up. So that's why this exercise is really good, because some of us have very common names. Yes. Muhammad, Isa. So many people will come up. So how can we think about, like, as I said, do you have a middle name? Do you have an initial? How do we want to think about maybe how we edit or craft even something as basic or as editing our names on our social media profiles, or including our initial on our LinkedIn, something that will make us come up on the top of the search results. Like I said, we're not going to go into SEO, search engine optimization, but this is something very basic that you can do that will help pull you up higher in the search results, so that when people are actually seeing information about SEN, it is actually you and not the actor who has an IMBD profile. I'm like, oh wow. I'm like, wow, you're a Renaissance man, you're a researcher, you're an actor, you're a swimmer. Wow. Wow, so multifaceted. All right, so I'm not seeing any hands raised, but please, if you could use the comment to also just search, especially what are maybe 2 things that you want to show up about you. And honestly, some of those 2 things don't have to be things that already exist. Those are things that maybe you want to work on. So I want to be known as an industry leader or an expert on technology. So when people Google me, my hope is that the first thing that will come up will be this article that I'm working on this particular topic. When people Google me, I want them to see this particular thing. So when I say think about 2 things that you want to show up, they don't necessarily have to be 2 things that already exist that are hidden down there in your search results, but they could be things that you want to work on that will show up more on your Fantastic. So I am hoping that when I scroll down to your LinkedIn, I'm going to see your portfolio of your renderings and your drawings or like buildings that you have worked on, even if it's not in 3D or 2D designs. At least some of these buildings have been fitted and constructed and have pictures of them. Am I going to see?
Okay. Profile. It says that I'm a sustainable urban design and also merge architecture and data science.
Okay. So let's scroll down. No, I want us to scroll down. Let's scroll down. By this fantastic. You have some activities.
Yes.
You liked, you shared. Okay, but mostly okay, good experience. Let's go down. Like I said, I'm still waiting to see. Those are things like architect who is eco-friendly. Architect, I'm not seeing your portfolio. I'm not seeing pictures of buildings that you've done, projects you worked on. Where are those things? If a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it fall?
No.
Everybody's jumping straight to LinkedIn. That's what I asked you.
No.
I said, cool, let's start from All right, so for my online audience, is there anyone that wants to share what are some things that showed up that maybe they didn't like, and maybe they want to share 2 things that they want to show up? So over here, something simple that I think is a problem for a lot of people sometimes is when they search for their name, they see results from so many other different people. So an advice that I gave someone when walking around was that, does he have a middle name? And he was like, yeah, he has a middle name. And I'm like, okay, so then why aren't you including your middle name in your profile? That way, when you search, including your middle name and people know you with your middle name, only information or mostly information about you will show up. So let me go to the chat and see what is happening and see if anyone has been brave enough to share or anyone wants to unmute themselves to share maybe 2 things that they want to show up on their profile after today. So I'm hoping maybe the same people, someone who said that he's a farmer, someone who wants to provide information for farmers. I think that was the Window of America in Zaria. So what do you want to show up moving forward when someone Googles or shares your profile? The person who said he's a cybersecurity person, what do you want to show up when 2 things that you want people to see when they Google you after today? I think someone had their hand raised. I think it was Uyo. Their hand raised. But in the 2 things that you want to share should hopefully be connected to your brand statements. So you want to help people by doing this. You want to help you want to help this business, help this particular niche demographic. Then hopefully those 2 things should be related to that brand statement. So I am someone who is a fashion designer who wants to help people look beautiful by making affordable dresses and whatnot. Then what is something you want to, what are 2 posts that you want to put on your page? Because I'm sure you're active on Instagram. You might not, that's not a LinkedIn brand statement. Fashion designer, that's not a LinkedIn brand statement. That seems like an Instagram brand. You're not on Instagram. You don't talk. So for example, now, what are 2 things that you want to post? So I want to post an outfit that I made recently, right? It could be something as basic as that. So it doesn't always have to be like, oh, I want to post a publication or a research paper. So what are 2 things that you want to show up on your profile instead of what is already on there? So now, some people here, and I don't know about the other windows, but some people have already gotten started on this already. Everybody here has already opened their LinkedIn. People have opened their Instagram and have gone ahead of the teacher in the scope of work and the scheme for today. So bring out your phones, bring out your computers, and choose any social media platform that you are on currently. And I want you to go and see how you can optimize your profile that is on there at the moment. If you are not on any of those social media platforms, then I want you to think about, like, if you were to open a new one, what would you have on there? Again, think about your target demographic. Think about what you want to do and how you want to present yourself. So, for example, the person who wants to help farmers, providing content and things like that for farmers, if you think about your audience, for example, LinkedIn might not be where you find them. X is probably not where you find them. In fact, Instagram is not where you find them. Most likely, your content that you're thinking about Facebook and WhatsApp. That's what you're thinking about, right? So what would be your ideal profile if you were to redesign a current profile that you have, or if you were to create a new profile? So even though this says LinkedIn, like I said, or your preferred platform, almost all of us should be on social media, at least one platform. So let's open a platform of choice and try to see how we can edit it. One thing could be, I need to add a picture to my LinkedIn profile. I cannot tell you how many people have LinkedIn profile without any picture on it, right? And then the second part of that exercise that we did about, if you Google your name, what shows up? I think I need to add a second question there. Who shows up? What picture is the first picture when I Google your name? Is it you or is it someone else? You. All right, so let's open either our X, our Instagram, our LinkedIn bio. What would it say, if you could redesign it, what would it say in a sentence? Usually when I open someone's profile picture, I usually look at their caption. What did they describe themselves as? I look at the first few posts on that profile, and then I just kind of like do a general scroll, and I kind of get a sense of who that person is in terms of like their online personality. So similarly, if you could design your own online profile, what do you want it to say about you? And hopefully, those keywords you're using on your social media platform are connected to your brand statements. I am a X who helps X by doing Y. So everyone is quiet, everyone is thinking, people are changing, people are Googling. You already have the answer, so please share.
You can help us here.
Okay. I would say an education. Okay. So first of all, what platform are we editing? I would want to edit LinkedIn. Okay, so we're editing LinkedIn. All right, so someone online, let's see from the audience online in the chat. Maybe you can tell us in the chat which platform you have selected to edit. Are you working on your LinkedIn? Are you working on your Instagram or Twitter? Or do we have any brave souls that are choosing to design a personal website? So please tell us in the chat which of these platforms that you are choosing to work on currently. And also after today's session, you're going to continue to work on and optimize. So please tell us in the chat which platforms are you looking at the moment and working on? And in one sentence, what do you want your profile to say? And hopefully that sentence again ties back to your brand statement. Okay, I'm waiting for my volunteers to tell me which platform they are working on. Everyone seems to be very busy. So is it our X? We're choosing a different profile picture. Are we working on Instagram? Are we working on LinkedIn? First thing is make sure we have a professional picture on LinkedIn. That's the number one thing. Then we can now think about working on our bio. And a professional picture doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go to a studio and all of that. It could just be you as simple as standing behind a white backdrop and asking someone to take your picture. When I go on LinkedIn and I see a picture of someone who is like, even if it's a passport picture versus someone who is showing me a selfie, I get completely different impressions about that person. And then some people will go and find a good picture and then try and crop themselves. And I can tell from that picture that there are other pictures too, other people too in the background. So maybe the little difference that you want to make would be just making sure that you are optimizing and making sure that you change the profile picture that you are using on those particular platforms. What is one keyword that you want to add to your profile? What is a key word that you want to make sure is added to your profile? On LinkedIn, in your bio, on Instagram, in your bio, all these platforms have bios. So what is one keyword after today that you want to add to your social media bio? Then our last exercise, after we have audited platforms, we have chosen one social media platform to kind of go through, is that I really want you to really think about 3 topics or stories that you could share online that match your 3 words. Alternatively, you can also think about 3 pieces of content that you can post in the next month that align with your brand. So again, write down 3 topics or stories that you could share online that match your 3 words. So going back to our social media profile, we have someone who is an architect who focuses on eco-friendly buildings and projects and does not have a single portfolio, a single rendering of her drawings on her LinkedIn page. So maybe I want to see what's the importance of us having eco-friendly buildings? What's the importance of sustainability in architecture? I'm hoping that those are part of the 3 topics that I hope you would share on your LinkedIn page so that I get to sense what you're passionate about. So people online, if anyone wants to, someone maybe who hasn't spoken before or someone who has spoken already, if you can walk us through the different steps of the exercise that we did. So if we could have someone who could come introduce themselves and tell us, this is my name, this is my brand statement, this is the social media platform I am on, this is what I want. These are 2 or 3 things that I want you to see in the next week, or I plan to post on X social media platform in the next 1 or 2 weeks or month. So do we have any volunteers online that want to share? So take us through the story. If you're not someone that has already spoken, tell us who you are by your brand statement. What social media platform are you on? And what are 2 things that we are going to keep you accountable? So I have a pen and paper. I'm going to be writing your name. I'll go and check your social media page and see if you actually posted or shared these topics. So do we have any participants online that want to share? All right, do we have anyone online that wants to share their social media platform of choice? And they also want to tell us which social media platform that they have chosen to redesign, and what are 2 or 3 things that in the next 1 month they are going to post or share on that platform. So we have a hand raised in American Space Bauchi. American Space Bauchi.
Okay, while Bauchi is preparing, we can go to Uyo. We have another one to go.
Okay, Uyo.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Sugo. I'm already on LinkedIn as a data analyst. Genesis take up as a volunteer data analysis facilitator. And then presently, I want to optimize my Instagram platform or handle so it will reflect that as well. Maybe I'll do that within this week. So that's my offer, that's my brand. I'm a data analyst who give insight to big data about business, about marketing on the digital marketing platforms to solve business problems.
Okay, so what are 2 things that you want to share? So for example, you can say, I plan to share my opinion on this particular thing that has happened in the tech space or in the cybersecurity space. So I plan to, even if it's just to put a tweet out or a caption out that shares my opinion on this particular topic in my particular field. So I just need you to just itemize like 1 or 2 things that you plan to put out there in terms that sort of align with your brand statement or the words that you hope people would resonate with you. So someone on the chat here, I don't know your name, it says, I am a technician who helps people in repairing appliances. I wish there was a value add there, but for this particular person now, what is 2 things that you could do? I would say something as basic as, I plan to put up on my WhatsApp status pictures of appliances that I have repaired. Yeah, it's as simple as that, right? If you don't have Instagram, or even on Instagram, I want to put a picture of a before and after of appliances that I have fixed. You take a picture of a washing machine or an iron that is bad, and then after you fix it, you take a picture again, and then you post it or you share it on your WhatsApp story. So that's 1 thing that you could share. It doesn't have to be something intellectual, an article, something big. For someone like you who is a technician and repairs appliances, it could simply be being more visible. I want to work on my visibility. It's not enough for me to know that I have the technical know-how. I want to make sure I'm working on putting out more pictures and content of the work that I have done. So I have someone here who says, I am a photographer who helps people by capturing their moments. Fantastic. So what is 1 or 2 things that you want to put out there? Do you want to share pictures of your work? Do you want to share behind the scenes? Do you want to share the camera equipment that you have? Or one of the big things now on social media is not just people creating content. There's a whole niche of people reacting to other people's content, right? You see someone put out a video and then you now put a video of yourself, your face in the corner, reacting to the video that someone else reacted to. Yes. And that's content, right? Yeah. So that's you putting something out there. You don't have to be the one to create the video, create the this, create the that. And that's why I said, okay, all of us have an opinion on something. Let me give you, like, for example, the buzzword now, everybody's talking about AI, right? Is AI good or AI bad? What's your opinion on it? Depends on how you use it. But again, what is subjective? We all have an opinion on it. Good, bad, we have examples. So that could be something that you could talk about online, especially if you want to be someone who wants to be known in tech. Even in the field of education, there's a whole lot of debate about AI and the applications in education. Is it going to make people smarter or is it going to make people dumber, lazy? What's your take on it? Right? Same thing too with AI in fashion. Is it going to help us? Nowadays, AI, they will say that is it making fashion better? Because you see all these apps now that you take a picture of the dress that you made, you go online and you find an online model that will model the dress and make it more relatable to people. So something like a topic like AI is not only isolated to tech people that can talk about that topic or post about that topic. It's a trending topic that anybody, regardless of your field, has an opinion and has a perspective on that particular issue. So it is something that you can talk about and post on your profile. All right, so do we have hands raised? I'm not sure. Okay, we have like 3 hands raised. I'm not, can someone moderate the people that will talk next? I don't see.
Okay, please, I wanted to, before we go to the hands raised, I wanted to ask if this is the last exercise.
Yes, it is. This is the last exercise. We're done. This is the last step.
Okay, just for clarity, some might still want to ask personal questions, and we are shooting almost getting to time. So we might just quickly take the 3 hands raised. Then we might want people to ask specific questions. Maybe they have personal clarity they want to.
Fantastic. So quickly, the 3 hands raised, and then that is actually the end of our exercise. But go ahead.
Okay, so Enugu will come first. Then we go to Abeokuta, then Zaria.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma. I want to thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity which you have given to us to. All right. All right. Okay. My name is Onwara Temple Ndubisi. I am currently a third year student of the Department of Medical Rehabilitation. Okay. Over the internet, I'm also a forex trader. So over the internet, Facebook precisely, I have been able to create a platform in which I can train persons who are interested in forex trading. And I started this as at 2018. So it's over there. I wrote my name on the chat box, onwara.t.man. So, and my picture is there. And I've been posting courses online. I've been, copying educational lectures and important informations about forex trading, pertaining, how to manage stop losses, how to understand the charts, how to understand so many things about forex trading, and how to also, compose yourself and maintain your personal fear, or will I say fear, or depression, because forex trading can sometimes lead to depression when people lose a lot of money. So, and they don't approach forex trading as, just logically, they just approach based on emotions. So some of them, so I found out that people sometimes act based on emotions, and that lead them to, lose funds. So I've created it online, and as at 2021, I've been getting feedback of persons, even not only in Nigeria but also in abroad, who are requesting that I take them on the training. But I was not able to, I was able to, initiate the process. I created a group chat for them, and I also started sending them courses that they will take up. But based on I think that was the year I got admission, so I left forex trading entirely. But the spirit is still in me. I still want to continue with that forex trading. So are there ways in which you can help me out? Thank you.
All right, so that's a question. We'll take that question at the end. I've noted it. But the whole point of today's exercise is that you said you already have some online presence. So do you want to think about creating short videos, 1-minute videos, short skits that gives people insight into how to trade, how to choose stocks, tutorials? There's so much information online that I think that you can use to build on your personal brand while also providing value and information to people. So I think we have one more or two more hands, but before they unmute themselves, I quickly just want to share some of these resources that after today, I love books, I love reading, even in the world of ChatGPT and podcasts and audio this, I still love holding books and reading, and I feel like there's a lot of content and information out there. So if we're talking about anything personal branding, you have to mention Tom Peters. He is considered the father of personal branding. And this whole idea of personal branding really started around 1997 after he wrote an article called The Brand Called You. It's a short article that I really would encourage everyone after today to go online, Google, and read. He has so many books on personal branding and really is considered the authority or the father of personal branding. This book here, Me 2.0, is also another great resource. You Are the Brand by Mike Kim is also another great resource, I think, for people. And these are just some other books as well that I found to be really helpful in terms of giving you step-by-step templates as well as other insights into personal branding. So I don't know if the other people have their hands raised, and honestly, that really is the end of my presentation. And now we can actually go into questions. Oh, okay. So let's take the questions that we have online. Questions online and comments. This one or this one? Yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah. For those of you that are very LinkedIn, the book in the middle is actually really good. It was actually co-written by the founder of LinkedIn. So that's a really good book if you're someone who is thinking about how to leverage on LinkedIn and use it. So yeah, Reid Hoffman is a co-founder of LinkedIn. So it's a really good book for those who are thinking about that platform. Which of you? The one in the middle, the startup of you. All right, so questions, comments online. I'll be taking only questions online. The people here have me in person. So let me focus on those online and then we can answer the questions here. So do we have any questions online? Yeah,
yes, we do.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, please, if you have, can raise your virtual arm so I will call you accordingly. Abeokuta, Zaria, do you want to ask questions or just a submission?
Question, sir.
Question, sir.
Okay.
Okay, since we're
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. So my question is, in terms of personal brand building, so how to deal with other people, bad judgments, impressions, and even perceptions? Thank you.
Okay, how do you deal with people's perceptions?
Bad judgments, perceptions, and even impressions.
Okay, how do you deal with people's perceptions of you?
Bad perceptions.
Oh, how do you deal with people's bad perceptions of you? By putting. Okay, if you think that those things that are out there are not a true reflection of yourself, that's why you need to take ownership of it and put things that are a true reflection of yourself. So that's the whole point of today's exercise, that I said that if you go online and you see things that are out there that are not a true representation of yourself, my goal is that you will be more intentional in terms of crafting messaging that reflects your true self. And one of the quotes I had in the beginning was like, life doesn't happen to you. You need to create the life that you want to see. So it's not about seeing negative things, and people will always have opinions, positive or negative, but making sure that what's you're taking the effort and the time to put things that are out there that are actually a true representation of yourself. And there are some people that the negative thing fits into the brand that they want to create. So the more controversy and the more negative things about them, it fits into their brand. So there are people that have made a business and out of negative publicity and negative branding. So they take the negative, and for them, any negative thing is fantastic. It's excellent. That's what they want. So, but if you are not that person, you don't want that to be your brand, controversy and negativity, then you need to be intentional in terms of putting things out there that truly reflect what you want to reflect. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so we go to Abeokuta now, and after Abeokuta, we'll take Maiduguri.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much. My question is that should I focus on being an expert in one area or a multi-skilled personal brand?
All right, so that's really great. So for me, I would say it really just depends. There are people who are able to have different expertise because a lot of things are kind of related, right? So let's say there's someone who is someone who wants to be known for healthy living, natural this. Yeah. It's easy for someone like that to go into natural skincare and natural products, or someone for that to start talking about like clean eating and talking about food and recipes. But for me, there still has to be one particular root or thing that ties everything together. So again, talking about artificial intelligence or talking about tech and all of those things, it's easy for you to branch out and still talk about different topics, but there needs to be something that is sort of like your core and that forms like your roots. I'm not saying that just because you want to be known as someone in the fashion industry or someone in the tech, you are not allowed to have other interests and not allowed to talk about other things. But that's why that at your brand, at the center of your brand, you need to be identified for something. So let's take a brand like, let's say, let me take a popular one. Let me take a good one. Domino's. What is the thing that comes to mind? Pizza. Yeah. Do they only have pizza on their menu? No. Right? Right? Same thing. Or when you think about McDonald's, the first thing we think about is burger. Yeah. Right? But they have other things on their menu as well. Yes. So it's the same thing too as you as a brand. Just because we know we're going into this exercise about you being a niche person, it doesn't mean that you are only allowed to talk about that particular thing or have an opinion on that particular thing. But there's still something that you are known for. Whether it's those values that you represent will trickle into how you talk about those other things that might not be your signature or your brand. So I hope that clarifies that for you. Yeah, we have another hand raised.
Okay, we go to Maiduguri now. Maiduguri, please unmute and ask your question.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. My question goes like this. What are the key steps one needs to follow in opening a brand? And the second one is, I wrote a book, but I had a problem in publishing it. Please, is there something I need to do for my publishing to go further?
So she has to.
Sorry, can we ask you to please pull down the presentation?
Oh, okay.
So that I can see your face.
Let's pull it down. Stop share.
Hello, sir. Can we get this?
All right. So for me, for someone who is, especially people who are in the writing creative industry space, I really think that having a personal website is really, really great. And also having a blog where you go and write snippets of your writing, short stories. And I do this a lot with even my students who are thinking of applying to college in the US. And they tell me that, oh, I'm a really great writer. I'm really good at writing. And apart from the assignments that your teacher in school told you, excellence, 98/100, who else knows that you are a good writer? So there are so many free resources out there. And someone asked about creating a website for free. You have Canva, you have Wix, you have Weebly. Literally just go Google, create website for free, and you can create your own website. Nothing stops you from uploading your manuscript online as a PDF link that people can download, or people can contact you for a code for you to be able to give them so that they can download that PDF document and read your book. And maybe they can pay you or you can make it free. But really, there's so many creative ways and so many creative avenues for us to get our talents and our skills out there. So I think I've addressed some of the questions in the chat as well, and also hopefully addressed your question about, you know, publishing, getting your persona out there, networking with the right people. Are you commenting on people's posts? You know, that's also a whole a whole different thing that we're not going to talk about today. In terms of, are you also strategic in terms of using, like, that's also part of your online presence as well. Not that you go online and you create this fantastic messaging image, but then you now go to other people's comments and you're saying, consistency across all platforms. Every message we put out, whether it's our posts or even our comments, needs to reflect our brand. All right, so I think I'm not sure if there's another hand raised, but there's a question here from Enugu Window. It says, in a situation where a person loses their online presence, I don't know, I'm not sure if someone can lose their online presence. Everything on Google, everything on the internet is there forever, except you close an account, that's different. Then, and needs to rebuild their personal brand from scratch. What would be the first 3 things you would do in such a situation? So I think you are actually perfect. Hopefully today's exercise, you joined early, because now you have an opportunity to start something from afresh, right? There's nothing online that you're like, I wish this thing was not there. Let me take it down. Oh, how can I delete or undo this thing? You actually have a really great opportunity now to start out with intention. So now that you have gained some experience and your insights, going back to what I said about what are those 3 words that you want people to associate with you, then again, going back to, okay, what is your brand statement? What are things that you can put out there that reflect that brand? So this is a good starting point for you to take these exercises that we have done today and implement it into this new online presence that you want to create. Question online.
Now we take Uyo now before we come back to Zaria again.
All right. My question is, we observe that in the tech industry, there are other firms that have established and they have gained ground in this tech industry. Now, as a going up brand, what are those things that we should do in order to compete with these big firms, or so that we will be sustainable in the digital world or tech industry? What are those things that we should do in order to be sustainable in the technological industry?
Okay. So for me, if you're someone who is starting out, I wouldn't necessarily think of those big people as your competition. Those are not the people that you're looking at in terms of, let's say I am starting a Zobo business, or I am starting a soft drink business like Tiger Nut, Kunu Aya, Zobo business. I won't think of Coca-Cola as my competition. How would I think of Coca-Cola as my competition? How much, like, the money they have on branding and ads and the brand recognition that they have, those sorts of things, like, there's no way I'm going to compete with that. But that's why I said that there's a whole market out there for you to be able to sell your business and get people that will patronize you. So maybe you need to rethink about, if you go back to that SWOT analysis where I said, think about your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Like, maybe you need to reevaluate who you're thinking is a threat or who you're thinking is a competitor. And again, really think about who your audience is. So if you're someone who says, like, let's say I provide financial information to people, for example, that's just that's generic. It's still not specific enough, right? Maybe you have identified that, okay, my target demographic will be people who are elderly and are wary of everything that they see online. There are people that are like that, right? They say elderly people are the easiest people to take advantage of in terms of scams online, right? They see everything on Facebook, they click, 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 click. So maybe you now, you're like, you know what? Everybody needs financial information. So for me, my target demographic is this particular group, and I don't want to go on Facebook. I want to be creating content for WhatsApp or for this thing because that's where they are. Financial advice, everybody's always I'm not going to compete with AXA, Mansard, Meristem, all those big people that are giving the same financial planning, estate management information. For me, I've found a niche demographic. I've also thought about a way to deliver my content to them that maybe they're not thinking about, that would help me stand out in the market. So again, you really need to think and be a little bit more creative in terms of really what makes you stand out and how can you deliver your message to your niche demographic. Because you can't just start out saying, I want to compete with the big boys. You have to start out slowly before you get to that level of competing with those, you know, big chains that have years and decades of brand recognition and hundreds, if I don't want to say hundreds, millions of dollars on advertising. Yeah. Why do you think all the big billboards you see in all this Abuja? Do you see any small brand? No. You can't compete, you know? But there are different ways you can compete with them. So you need to be creative. Another question?
Lastly, we have from Zaria again.
All right. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for the issues. My question goes like this. After building our own personal brand, how do we change followers in the handles?
So, like I said, growing followers and things like that is a completely different conversation. But honestly, the truth to gaining followers and things like that is just consistency. Honestly, that's it. By the time you are consistent, you are putting more messages out there. When people, going back to search engine optimization, like your profile will come up and come up and come up as one of the, you know, industry experts when people search for certain key things or keywords. So honestly, the simple answer I can give you is honestly is consistency. You know, if you think about even like my work that I did in terms of growing Education USinNigeria now as a social media platform, when I took over that platform, I think we had only like maybe less than 3,000 followers. If you think about Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of those things combined. But right now, if you look at our assets, we don't do paid ads, we don't do anything like that. So all we have done is like organic growth and organic reach. And right now we're like over 150,000 followers on our social media platforms, something that started a few years ago at just 3,000. And for me, I did it by just consistency. I did it by just experimentation and figuring out, okay, this kind of content will work. Okay, let's do reels. Let's test out this. And again, just organic content. If you post things, if you're consistent, people will come back. If you're providing value, the truth is that if you're providing value, you're consistent, and what you're saying makes sense, people will come back to you. People might not follow you the first time you post about something and they see it, but by the time they know that you are someone who provides them a resource, it's even like, just think about yourself. It's hard for you to go to one person's page, you see it the first time, you like it, and then that's it, you follow. You first of all see like one or two things that they're doing, one or two things that they've posted. It takes you to see a few things before you choose to be a fan and you follow someone. Same thing that before you say, this is my favorite musician, it's more than just one song. Anybody can be a big deal for one song and disappear. But by the time you're like, oh, I like this person's song, this album is nice, this album is nice, this album is nice, I'm a fan of XYZ. But every music that you've listened to and you've liked will you call yourself a fan of that musician? No. But it's the consistency that they've put out things that you've liked. So the same thing too, you are putting out content that is providing value to people, the followers will eventually come. Oh, thank you so much, Window of America. This is the best presentation. All
Okay.
right.
I think there are no more questions, and believe me, if you continue, you might just want to stay here till evening. Well, it has been an amazing presentation. It has been an amazing session, and believe me, if you feel like you are gaining weight right now, trust me, it is not food, but you have taken in a lot of wisdom and information now. So I want you to go pour this on your businesses and your personal brands. And thank you so much. I think I'll just hand over to. I wanted to say something.
Can I take it over?
Over to you. Yes, sir, please.
Can we put our hands together for our amazing speaker today? You are not clapping. Please clap very, very well. Malate, you have done excellently well. And some people are complaining on the YouTube. Let me read. They said there are questions here, but no one is helping us to read it to the anchor. We're simply invisible for most part of this session, but we appreciate a lot. And some of their questions are, how often should one post content to remain visible without overwhelming their audience? 2, what type of content performs best when trying to increase visibility, text, video, images, or live sessions? So if you could just summarize your answer, we'll appreciate it.
All right. So the truth is that there's no magic formula nowadays in terms of like algorithm, in terms of like how often you should post, because the way the algorithm works in the back end is that your audience will find you. Sort of, I don't know how to explain it. There used to be an old school mentality of like, there's a magic formula of you need to post 2 times, 3 times on Instagram, 2 times, 3 times a day, or, you know, that sort of thing on Facebook, that sort of thing. The only algorithm that I would say that posting consistently helps is X, because of this nature of the fact that it is real time, right? If you go on X right now and you search, even X kind of takes into account the memory of the kind of things that you have interacted with in the past. So the way X works is that the first 20 things that come up, I think, are based on things that X thinks you like, that you will resonate with. And then after that, it's all based on real-time posts of things connected to you. Instagram and Facebook, on the other hand, except for stories, work completely different. They're no longer time-based. So there's no magic formula of, oh, I have to post at 7 p.m. because that's when people are awake and they will see my content. You can post at any time. That's the new industry best practice. So even if you show up on your page, sometimes the first thing on my page is something from 3 weeks ago. Yes. But that's what the algorithm thinks will be important to me. So again, making sure that you're using things like keywords, making sure that it's providing value. Right now, the most important thing is engagement. And the only way people will engage with your content is if you're providing value. So whether it's once a week, twice a week, 3 times a day, are people going to be liking, engaging, sharing, saving that thing that you're posting? That's the most important thing. But there's no fixed formula of I must post whether it makes sense or not every single day. Is it resonating with your audience and is it providing value? Then I think the second question, which I did not remember, if you could please repeat.
Video or image content.
Okay, so
which is best? The live session.
Oh, fantastic. So again, different content resonates with different platforms. For Instagram and for YouTube, obviously video is king. For X, text with some graphics work. But one thing you always want to make sure, one little secret to making your content boost, to go viral or to do better on social media is you always want to use the tools that that particular platform is promoting at any given time. Right now on Instagram just released an app called Instagram Edits. It's like a separate app where you can go and edit your videos and edit content, and it can post from that app onto Instagram. So any content that is created using Instagram Edits, is currently being pushed by the algorithm and by the platform because they want to promote that tool. It's the same way when Reels came out newly, even Reels are the big deal right now. Reels will keep popping up on your page. So you always want to hop on the trend of that particular platform. But generally speaking, I would say that video is king. When you are at an event or you're doing something, if you're able to capture video, you can always repurpose that content into other things. You can turn a video into a still image. You can take the audio from an image, from a video, and put it onto something else. So if you're at a program or at an event, you're doing outreach, you're doing a community engagement thing, and you're like, should we do still pictures or should we do video? I will always opt for video, because from video, you can always repurpose it, screenshot it for videos, use the audio and do like little 1 minute clips of different things and repurpose that same event or that same content into a whole series of posts that can take you for a long time. But I would say the key is making sure you try and use whatever app or feature that that platform is promoting right now. And I know for Instagram, it's currently Instagram Edits. So everyone on Instagram, go and download that app. Even if you use another app to create your video, which is one thing that we've learned, you can use another app to create your video, but just put that video on Instagram Edits. Even if it's just to trim the video, take 2 seconds here, take 2 seconds there. Let it just be that you tweet that video using Instagram Edits. You'll see how far it can go. Another thing too is making sure that you don't put links on Facebook. Facebook hates links. Most social media platforms hate any content that would take users away from that platform. So if you're putting any content on social media and you're saying, here is the link to a YouTube video, here is a link to this, that content will not go far. Now, the secret to including links in your post is putting it in the comment section. So if you have any link, say on the chat, put it on the caption, check the link for comments, check the comments for the link. Then you yourself go to the comments and put the link there. Just that little difference, I promise you, you'll see a difference in the reach of the post that you're putting out.
Thank you very much. Let's put hands together. That is our man. By the way, Malate works with the PD, Public Diplomacy of the U.S. U.S. Embassy in Abuja. Thank you once again. We really appreciate your section. And let me read one of the comments said, this is getting more interesting. I am loving this. Wow. I love how this guest speaker is marshalling a point. So explicit, relatable, and interesting. That's what they said. So really appreciate you. And we believe that when we call you another time, you will definitely come. So thank you once again. I have one announcement for everyone. By Thursday, the 28th, we'll be hosting the commercial attaché U.S. and Foreign Commercial Service, Lagos. That's Blake Murray. He will be speaking about the role of the U.S. Department of Commerce in promoting trade and investment with Nigeria. Please make it a date and come and have an empowerment session. I want to thank all the directors for supporting this program. I appreciate everyone. Thank you for coming and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, everyone.